지금부터 시작해봐.
Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Izzuddin and I will be presenting about the need-based theories. I will be touching about 4 theories. One is the Maslow hierarchy of needs theory, the ERG theory, the learn-based theories, and the 4 drive theories. 4 of these theories commonly stated about the interpersonal needs, which explains about the needs of people needing interactions, in needing the feelings of love, feeling of appreciations within the organization so that they can stay and motivated to do their work. The theories also stated about the seek for reward, where commonly employees or employers seek the reward in every action and in every management they're organizing, because they commonly search for profits and trying to reduce their liabilities and trying to optimum their performance based on their management. The first 2 theories, which is the Maslow hierarchy of needs and the ERG theories, have some similarities where it specifies on the needs is characterized based on the pyramid hierarchy of needs, and both of these theories started the hierarchy of needs with the needs of physiological needs, with materialistic needs, which comprise of the needs of oxygen, the needs of having domestic foods to survive, and these 2 theories started with those 2 needs. When we see the Maslow hierarchy of needs, we can see that first of all it started with the physiological needs, which comprise of oxygen, water, and foods. And the next stage is the needs of safety, which is the work securities and maybe the safety in place of work, and also the safety where they have insurance, which may be provided by the company or the organizations. Next level of needs is the belongingness. This is commonly like the interpersonal needs, where it explains where the people have the needs of affections, the needs of sense of belonging within the management, and when this is satisfied, we go to the next stage, which is the needs of self-esteem, where they need the sense of respect, the sense of being confident and satisfaction in what they are doing, with every work they have accomplished in the company, in organizations. They need this is one of the needs that they need to drive them to continue in their work. And at the top of this hierarchy is the needs of self-actualization, where the persons realize that they need to improve themselves and improve their skills in terms of their management skills, in terms of their interpersonal skills, and in terms of their performance. What do they want in their accomplishments? What do they want to accomplish in their organization? The ERG theory is a bit different from the Maslow hierarchy of needs, because the hierarchy of the ERG theory is a bit lesser, a bit simple compared to the Maslow hierarchy of needs. And the meaning of ERG is E stands for existence, R stands for relatedness, and G stands for growth. It started with the existence, which is the basis of an hierarchy of needs, and Well, and whenever a person or an individual is not satisfied, does not have the satisfaction of the above hierarchy, they will fall to the existent hierarchy, so that they can start from the bottom. The ERG theory also emphasizes on the concept of relatedness, which it is important for the organization to encourage their employees to be able to attend any activities being held by the organizations. And when the employees is within the top management, they will feel this sense of belonging when they know they were the first one to know to be shared decisions which is important in the company, and they also will feel belong when they have a closer relationship between the top management, because they can communicate their problems directly, and being noticed is something important in our organizations. And the most top stage in the ARG theory is similar to the Maslow hierarchy of needs, which is growth, that explains as the needs of an individual or an employees to later develop their skills and their working experience. This type of motivation will encourage them to take risks and to handle an even harder project, or in even harder programs like humanitarian programs or an expo of business to involve many people into the programs is quite difficult. So this motivation is important. Moving on to the non-hierarchy needs of theories, which is the learn-based theory by McLellan. This theory also have the needs, also explains about the needs of affiliation, which is the needs of interpersonal relationship within the organization. What is interesting in this theory is it explains about two other motivation, which is the needs of power and the needs of achievement. This need of achievement can be achieved when the employees is given a goal, and the result of them reaching the goal will have feedbacks. And recognitions from peoples. For example, like the Anugerah Belia that was established by the Majlis Belia Malaysia, and the Anugerah Ma'al Hijrah, which is established by the Islamic Ministry. And next is the need of power. When an employee or an employer have such amount of power, which they can change the policies and make reformations in their management or in their policies, it motivates them to do more, to contribute to the organization more, because they have such qualifications and autonomy to change such policies and make some changes to it. The higher the position that we get, the more responsibility we will feel, the more responsibility we will take. Last but not least is the 4 drive theories. 4 drive theories, which is created by Harvard Business School, which implies quite a different approach with the needs of motivations. The first 4 drive theory is need to acquire, to obtain something. And this need is important because it is to distinguish skills and performance based on the reward given by the organizations. And it is also important to satisfy these needs because it is to ensure that motivations of the employees is secure by giving them equal pay and sufficient pay based on their performance and qualifications. The second one is the need to bond. This is quite similar to the interpersonal needs of the other theories. The third, for the theory, the need to learn, which also states about the self-actualizations, which the need of the employees or the individual to satisfy its curiosity, its needs, its need to improve himself, or the needs of the employees to discover something new in the organizations. And the last for the theory is the need to defend, which it specifies on management and the resource itself in the organization, where it is important for the organization to be transparent in their operations, which is giving honesty in their services and stating the real results of their management. And it is important for the management to be fair in their operations, such as giving equal treatment is important, so that the employees feel comfortable with their managers, because some managers can be racist sometimes, and some managers can be rude or being cherry picking their employees in terms of good and fair treatment in management. The 4F theory can be communicated using the mental skill based on the social norms, and based on the personal values of the employees, and based on the past experience of the employees itself, where based on this mental skill they can transfer these motivations into goals and into efforts and choice, that is into goals, into actions, into efforts that are compatible to the organization. For that theory also influence the employees to be able to distinguish between emotions, so that to distinguish emotions that made decisions or made mistakes based on their emotions, because in organizations you must have a logical thinking and skill to be able to distinguish these two, emotions and logical thinking, because it is important. And this theory also explains on how the motivations, where do this motivation comes from, and how did it work, and how it can benefits the employees. It also makes the employees able to adapt to the society, and make their own motivations that are applicable to the society, to the environment, to their surroundings in the organizations, so that they will have this sense of belonging, the needs that were emphasizes on the other theories, especially in this 4 drive theory. And this theory will also encourage the employees to use their mental skill, use their past experience and their personal skills to generate it, becoming an efficient efforts, becoming their medium to translate, to communicate their motivations to the organization and also to themselves, because it is important for the employees to address their needs properly, and giving and verbal action and responses, so that the organization can evaluate it even more on the employees' performance and understanding them even more. And that is all the need-based theories. Thank you. That's all from me.
Okay, moving to the process theories, there are two types of process theory, which is expectancy theory and equity theory. Okay, for the expectancy theory of motivation, we can see here that this is basically the effort to performance, effort plus performance, and produce various outcomes and balances. Okay, the problem is what kind of effort. For example, the effort is good, then the performance will be good as well, and probably will produce a good outcomes or a positive outcomes. Let's say perhaps in the workplace, we tend to completing our task or our job done right on time from the deadline. It will eventually increase the performance in our job. Maybe our bosses will not get mad. So the end we produce a good outcomes, which is we will get promotion, maybe, for example. Okay, next is how we increase the effort to performance, or E to P. In terms of training and development, job analysis, selection can add through training employees, selecting people with required competencies, provide role certification, coaching feedback, might presenting with jobs. So all of this will allow employees with the right effort and the right performance toward a better outcome. Same thing with when we choose the wrong person. No matter how effort they give, it couldn't match with the people with more talented. Therefore, the outcomes will always be lower than those talented. How about increase the performance to outcomes? P2O. It is explained how we measure performance accurately despite outcomes with good performance. Encourage them to increase their effort and increase the performance by offering reward, benefit, and so on. In terms of increasing outcomes balances, balance is about the satisfaction and dissatisfaction that an individual feels towards an outcomes that they feel unsatisfying. Practice and reality of expectancy theory for the strength is one of the better theories predicting of effort. The limitation is ignores the central role of emotion in employee effort and behavior. Move to the organizational justice component. Okay, moving to organizational justice component, or in terms of this is justice in the organization. Distribution principle, structural and social rules. Distributive justice perception will then affect their emotion, attitude, and behavior. Procedural justice perception will also affect their emotion, attitude, and behavior as well. What is the meaning of this? Basically, distributive justice is to perceive fairness in outcomes we receive to our contribution, and the outcomes and contribution of others mean to say that how much we put into effort in doing something in the organization. Some people might be working from 9 to 5 but they get nothing in terms of bonus or reward, but there are some people who work 9 till 3 p.m. or 2 and they go home. So we can see here that there are no distributive justice doesn't exist in that organization because there are no fairness, for instance. So here is our perception of fairness in the outcomes received. Okay, so procedural justice, it is divided into structural rules and social rules. Okay, for procedural justice is the fairness of the procedural used to decide the distribution resources who get promoted or a salary increase. So all of these are part of procedural justice. Distributive justice and equity theory. We apply an equality principle when we believe that everyone in the group should receive the same outcomes, thus with greatness need. So here is basically apply the equal element. When applied to the workplace, equity theory focuses on an employee's work compensation relationship as well as that employees attempt to minimize any sense of unfairness that might result. For element of equity theory, there are three elements here. The first, outcome or input ratio. So input is what employees contribute, such as skill, and outcome is in terms of what employees receive, such as a pay. Second is comparison other. This is more to a person or stated that the individual's input or outcome ratio is compared to. Moving to equity sensitivity, okay, it is divided into three, which is benevolent, equity sensitivities, and entitled. Benevolent is the tolerant of being under reward, more willing to accept less reward, contribute more inputs than the outcomes they're receiving. Equity sensitivities is the need to be equal to the comparison with other, so they want to be the same with the other people regardless of the situation. And entitled is they have a tendency to believe that they deserve more of the best stuff, let's say a higher salary or a big promotion, whether or not they have worked as hard as performed as effectively as others. Okay, moving to the over-reward versus under-reward. For under-rewarded, equity is also known as negative inequity. This is occurs when the ratio of one's own input and outcomes is greater than or less than favorable than the ratio of compensation, other which creating sense of unfairness. For over-rewarded, known as a positive inequity, this occurs when the ratio of one own input and outcomes is lower than or more favorable than the ratio of comparison other. This is causing a person feel overcompensated. Okay, that's all for distributive justice and equity theory. Okay, last but not least is the types of reward in the workplace. There are 4 types of reward in the workplace. First is membership and seniority. Second is job status. The third is competency. And the fourth is performance based. Okay, so let's start with membership and seniority. In terms of fixed wages and seniority increases, the positive is guaranteed wages attract job applicants. Seniority-based reward reduce turnover. But the negative side is it doesn't motivate job performance, or there are high tendency poor performers from leaving the organization. For job status, which is job evaluation and status perks, the positive side is job evaluation tries to maintain pay equity. Okay, for the negative side is there are more focuses employees on own job but not customers, so there is no effective and efficient in the organization. Next is competencies, which is pay increase with competencies acquired and demonstrated. Skill-based pay. Okay, the positive side is this type of reward is more flexible workforce, better quality consistent with employability. But the negative side is potentially subjective, higher training costs. Okay.